You guys want to say hi?
Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Yeah, I apologize for missing out on 2 weeks. There was 1 week where I just Media called me and I just
You were
slept
asleep.
through his phone. Yeah, I just slept through his phone call. I remember waking up to my phone vibrating, seeing the call, Media Falcon calling you on Discord, and then I was just like, I was probably nothing big, and then I put the phone down and I went back to sleep, and that's why I missed that podcast. Last week's podcast. Why did I miss last week's podcast? Yeah, I think
You had something on? You had something on, I think.
Yeah, I think I had something on.
Yeah, I think there was something going on.
Yeah, we're here now. Yay!
Also, real quick, Ella did subscribe with Twitch Prime. Thank you for that. She says, "Roses are red, deers eat flowers, Squidward chokes on a fork for 10 hours." Beautiful.
That sounds hot. What? Where'd you get this?
Thank you, Ella. Thank you.
I don't have a Valentine, but I don't intend to be anyone's Valentine, so I'm sorry, Ella. You can.
You're Raven's Valentine. What? Chill.
I'm joking. Alright, so yeah, the whole gist. I think you guys have probably guessed. The whole gist of this today's podcast is gonna be about love, Valentine and love. Okay.
That's what I made the topic. I said that's what I made the topic.
Wait, what?
I said that's what I made the topic in the top left.
Oh yeah, love. Before we get started though, did you guys do anything for Valentine's Day?
Me personally, no.
Ah, Sky, did you do anything for Valentine's Day?
Does it have to be related to Valentine's Day?
Oh no, it can be anything. Like, how did you spend your Valentine's Day? Did you spend it alone or with some? No.
Yeah.
I get. I did go out on a dinner with some of my Kendo senpais, but that was completely unrelated to. But that's completely unrelated to Valentine's. It just happened to be a weekend where my mom was like, "Hey, let's go invite your senpai out to dinner," and then I'm like, "Oh," and then we went from there.
Let's just assume it was
kind of.
Let's just assume it was a Valentine's Day
event thingy.
Yeah, dude, imagine your senpai probably like. Did you invite them personally or like?
So that was. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm the kind of person who's. I don't like to give gifts, especially to. Or like. I don't like to give gifts to people who I'm not particularly close with, and I also don't particularly like. I'm also not a very sociable person. So the sort of thing is, my mom wanted to invite these particular senpais out because they've been supporting me and helping me in regards to transport, because kendo training is always late at night. It ends at like 10. So and they usually like volunteer and like whenever they're at training, they like volunteer to help drive me home. And so I guess my mom like really wants to be able to thank them for that, even though I haven't actually been to training for like the past year or so. And then which is why my mom was like, "Hey, let's go out to invite them for dinner." And then I'm like, "But they haven't done anything for the past year." If it makes any sense. So I guess
how did that event go though? All good? Like
it was all good. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. I didn't do anything Valentine specific for Valentine's Day this year. I think.
Wait, real quick. That was yesterday for y'all, because today is technically the 15th, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So Valentine's, because us Aussies are in the future, you know. Our Valentine's Day is yesterday's event. So yeah, we're living in the future. No, I'm joking. But yeah, I didn't do much either. I think
You did something though, right? Not for Valentine's Day, but I think.
No, yeah, but it was for my. I didn't know what event it was. They were just like, come over and have barbecue with us, and I'm like, okay. I actually thought it was a Valentine's event, but then turns out it was my auntie and my oldest cousin's birthday event.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what, I don't know when their birthdays are. I just went to the event because they invited. And I'm like, okay, and I didn't even know it was their birthday.
Speaking of birthdays. Somebody might have a birthday coming up soon.
Oh yeah, Media has a birthday coming up in February. Oh, there were spoilers.
What do you mean spoilers? I was implying that.
Oops. Spoilers. Oops. Yeah. Yeah. Media's birthday's coming up.
Yes.
We need to have like a special podcast segment for that. So. But yeah, the birthday party. Okay, the cool thing about the birthday party was like my cousin Goki Buri. She made a bunch of Elsword hedgehog biscuits. They were so cute. And then like it's pretty funny because like I think at this point my whole family plays Elsa except for my brother who doesn't play anymore. Well, he got us into it, but he doesn't play anymore. Yeah. So then like we were just like preparing for the barbecue, right? And then my cousin, she's just like, wait, I gotta leave for a bit. I gotta do my Elsword dailies before the day resets. So she ran off to play Elsword and left us to do the preparations for the party. And then the other thing was like my other cousin Seaweed Cash, she was AFKing in the Atlas area because she liked the music, the Elsword music there, and she just played that on speakers as background music for the party as well.
Oh, it is pretty nice music.
Yeah, it's like in a way it felt a bit like Elsword themed party.
That's cute.
Yeah, it's fun. The media should have been there. We gossip so much, you know, because every party we love gossiping.
Yeah, I bet.
Okay, yeah.
Anyways, yeah. I hope everyone else's Valentine's was good. But with that out of the way, we might as well get into the first topic.
Yeah.
I have like a list of topics written down for like today's podcast. I feel like I didn't write down enough questions, so we might you guys just like derail as much as you guys can, okay? Thanks. But anyways, yeah. So the first question I had here is a question for Sky and Media. What do you guys look for in a partner? Romantic interest or future interest? Like, for example, like...
Wait, why is it related to us?
Well, I'm just curious!
Wait, no, as in, you gotta answer it too!
Okay, fine, answer it after you guys answer it!
Okay, I'd say it, I'll go first.
Okay.
Say it again.
What do you look for in a romantic interest? Like, what do you guys look for in a partner?
I think, for me at least, I'll give you my number one. My number one thing is like if I can talk to them like really well, and like in any type of like, and that doesn't have to just be like talking. If I can just kind of communicate with them, either like talking or listening, and I'm enjoying myself, like I'm having a good time, like that's like actually pretty important to me in my opinion. If I feel like I can talk to them about anything, or like I feel comfortable talking with them, that's like a pretty big thing.
So wait.
Yeah, go ahead.
Does that? Because like the other second part of the question was like, do you value romantic interest or future interest more? So I guess like for you, you're more into the romantic interest.
Yeah, I would think so. What do you mean by future interest?
For example, it's just like, can you live together with them, or do you?
Oh, that's an important factor too, actually, in my opinion. I do like to, when it comes to that stuff, I do like looking towards the future and not like, oh man, I'm just gonna date him and then we're gonna break up. Like I can't wait for that. Like I don't think like that, I guess. Does that make sense? Yeah, like I don't know.
Because actually, in regards to that, my parents think that there's like you can't have someone you're romantically interested and also someone that you think you want to, like, for example, you have to separate romantic interest with future interests. So he's like, you either date.
Really?
Yeah, so my parents think that you either date someone romantically or you date someone thinking that they have a good future career, or you think that you'll be able to live with them together in the same house and live nicely in the same house together.
I think it's because like it's just so difficult to find someone who can fill in both.
Yeah,
and I guess that's also, I think one thing that I've read that really, I guess it really changed my perspective on relationships is that love is not a feeling, love is a choice.
Yeah.
So when you choose, when you go on and you love someone, like you're basically saying you have all these positives, that outweighs all your negatives, and I'm gonna choose to like dedicate stuff to you. And then like, and I guess like every person has reasons to date them, and every person has reasons not to date them. If that makes any sense. So I guess it's about, I guess, weighing up the options, and when it comes to living with them, like in the future, that's something that you need to actively choose to, I guess, like it's like if it's like, say that they're romantic, but they're not, say they're a great romantic interest, but they're not that, but like living with them might not work as well, and then you have to kind of like make a decision. Like, are you willing to put up with living with them if you romantically like them?
Yeah.
Because like,
wait, but what do you...
Go ahead.
Actually, quick question, Sky. Like, what do you mean by love is not a feeling?
You can choose to love someone. You can choose not to love someone. As in, you can have that innate romantic attraction, but in the end, whether you stick with them for the long run, actually, or like whether you stick with them, period, that's a choice. So everyone has feelings, but whether you act on them is completely up to you. That applies with every feeling, and yeah, pretty much.
Wait. I don't get how love is not a feeling. Because...
So I think, how else do I explain it?
Because even in even dictionary definition says that love is an intense feeling of deep affection.
This is if we're considering, this is if we're thinking more broadly of love, as in love is not, as in like if we consider love to be something that's not just like the attraction, but we consider it as the thing that drives our choices in terms of what we do with that person.
You know what? Okay. I had a real quick thought. So you know what a big problem is, in my opinion, when it comes to love, is just when it comes to the word love. I think the problem with English specifically is that love is too like broad in this language compared to a lot of other languages. Cause like you could say like I love tacos, and you can also say I love my wife, and it's the same word, but obviously it means different things. You know what I mean? So is that maybe this is what you're talking about? Like maybe like the love, like the intense love of like a couple, is like that might be another word in another language compared to something else. Cause I forget what language it is. Wait, keep going. Hang on, let me look this up.
That's true in like Chinese and Japanese, for example. Like for example, if you just say you like someone, sukite, that you say suki. But then there's also stuff like aishiteru, which means like you really love them. There's different levels for affection in like languages like Japanese and stuff.
I guess now that I've thought of it, I thought about the context of the whole love is not a feeling, love is a choice. That's more of like that's more of like future prospects in terms of like getting married, having family, and essentially living them the rest of your life. Like for example, you might love someone, but like are you willing to stick with them, to actually stick with them for the rest of your life? And that in itself is a choice. And for some people, like they might love them a lot initially, and they get married, and then maybe the relationship like breaks down in the future. Some people choose to try and solve the problem. Some people choose to avoid it, which is essentially walking. And some people just choose to walk away. And I guess how you want to tackle those issues in regards to relationships is a choice.
I actually feel like in regards to that, I feel like in that case it wouldn't be like love is the choice. I feel like that in that case that's just be a choice of who do you think would make a better, like what type of person would be a better partner for you in the long run or in the future. I think in that case, because I feel like love generally just refers to like a feeling of affection towards someone.
That's true. That's the most literal feeling. That's the most literal definition.
Because in Sky's case, what you said, how like making decisions based on love, I feel like that one's just making a decision based on it. Like it's not really like love isn't really the cause of. I think like. I guess it's like in that case, it's really just it's not really a decision of love. I think it's just a decision between do you value love more than do you value like practicality or something like that. Something like that. I think that's what I mean. That's a better explanation. Because I feel like yeah, because I think because I feel like love in general is just like a feeling of affection for someone, and it's just like I just think that the more you stay with this someone, for example, like you could be interested in someone like initially because of love, right? And then after a while you'll probably lose those quotation mark lose those feelings of love, and then you'll start looking into like more practicality, like is it suitable for me to stay with this person, etc. That's what I think.
Okay. I did find it, by the way. So I was taught it's the Greek. So the ancient Greek have 6 words for love. There's excuse me if I pronounce this wrong. I don't speak no Greek. But here we go. We got philonutia. This is philonutia love. This is love for oneself, so love for yourself. There's pragma love, which is long-standing love. There's agape love, which is love for everybody. There's ludus love, a playful love. That's a playful love. There's philia love, which is a deep friendship. And then there's eros love, which is a sexual passion type of love.
Mm.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Arrow.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, right? Like it makes sense, like, cause like, you know, one of them is like love for yourself. Like the love you have for yourself wouldn't be the love that you have for your friends, which is philia here. But it's like each of those is like definitely a different thing. It's just I don't know. I guess it's just weird that like English didn't adopt that part when like quote unquote translating the word love over. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like we have like what do we have for love? We have like love, like, and like I guess you can go into it like you have like adoration, you have like I can't think of any synonyms at the moment, but I guess you do have other words for love. But I think definitely like love in itself maybe is a bit overused because like it can mean so many different things.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess different interpretations of it as well.
Yeah, actually, because like in the English, like when you say like, oh, I think like in English when you say love, it's like it kind of just feels like, especially when you say, oh, I love this type of food or something like that. It's just like, oh, I really like the taste of it. Yeah, and it's just like yeah, I feel like in the English language specifically, love is just too broad of a term as well. It's really broad. And it's like, I guess like wait, before I move on to that though, wait, Sky hasn't answered the question. What do you look for in a partner?
It's very difficult for me to answer that question because to me the notion of having a partner now is so surreal and like it's just so like unrealistic that it just like the question itself just doesn't like I just don't know how to answer it because
fair. Okay. What about
just think about having a partner so surreal.
Okay, fair. What if I change the question and ask, do you value romantic interest or like more like career interest like in a partner? So like would you prefer to date someone you're just romantically interested in, or would you rather date someone you think you'd get along with if you lived under the same roof, or if they have a good career prospect and like just benefit you like economically?
Oh, practicality for sure. Because I know romantic won't exist. Because I know romantically that won't ever happen.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Makes sense. So, I think is the word pragmatic or something. Wait, let me check.
I'm not 100% sure.
That's an interesting question. You know, it's kind of, I guess it really depends for me because it's just like, because you didn't answer because obviously I didn't answer that alternate question. I'm gonna answer it now. I mean, it's really weird to think about because it's just like, okay, with a romantic relationship, I would prefer that, but like when it comes to a practical one, part of me honestly would not mind that because I feel like generally, you know, if I'm gonna be with somebody for essentially living with them, I feel like I can get along with a good majority of people, but if I don't like that person so much that you know, let's say worst comes to worst, I want to leave them. I don't know. That's there's definitely a factor to consider. With the second one, it's just like cause I
so
go ahead.
Oh no! I was just gonna say that like if you can get along with them, as like a friend, then like
like that's chill, right? Yeah, right.
Yeah, but I think at the same time it's like a bit of, you kind of have to consider both for actually each aspect you lean towards.
And it's not like they are mutually exclusive.
Yeah. It's like at the same time, like what if you're into someone romantically, like you just really enjoy being with them, but also at the same time this person's just really hopeless at chores, doesn't have a good occupation, and just like yeah, overall in regards to like household stuff, they're just kind of like incompetent in some way. Like, would you still want to date, like stay with them, but even though you still love them?
Like that's the thing, cause like that borders on like a toxic relationship more or less, right? Like, you know, when it comes to a marriage, at least for me, I think it's like a partnership where people, you know, both of them work at best they can to support each other, like emotionally, like financially, like all that stuff. So, you know, if you're essentially in a relationship where only one person is carrying the weight, let's say financially, I don't think that's even a good relationship, in my opinion, at least. In my opinion.
Okay.
I think that's unless that one person is like actually earning the. Oh well. Yes, that's actually true though, because financial independence is like really, really important. Like even if one person is like earning like really, really large amounts of money, it's kind of like having that sense, having financial independence. There is such a big like safety net, like in case you want, like in case like something happens and you ever need to like, and you ever need or want to get out. Because being financially dependent on that one person is like it just makes it so much harder to leave. And I guess, yeah.
I don't mean like they have to be earning the exact same amount, or even somewhat of the same amount. I just mean that each of them are doing what they can to provide for the relationship. You know what I mean? That's really just what I meant.
What about this? What about like what are your guys' opinion on like a marriage where one person is a bread maker and the other person just is like the house husband, housewife. They just stay home and do all the chores and handle the kids.
Oh, so like traditional, so like the traditional nuclear family.
Yeah. I honestly like it. It's like it. I think. How do I say this in a way that makes sense? I think it's like can be strange, but I think it's also at the same time, if both people are fine with that arrangement and they actually do it as best as possible, like the breadwinner's actually the breadwinner's making a good amount of money, and the person who is at home doing the house chores make sure it's essentially all done, that the breadwinner doesn't have to worry about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like if the breadwinner is working good enough that the person at the house doesn't need to make extra money, and the person at the house is working what they're at doing enough that they don't I think I said the same thing twice. If the person making money is doing it well enough, and they're not doing any house chores, but they're doing what they're doing good enough. The person working at home is doing what they're doing good enough. They don't have to worry about doing extra money if they're doing it. Like if they can do it individually so well, the other person doesn't need to worry about covering for each other. Then I think it's good. I think it's actually pretty good.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
What about Sky? What did you think of that kind of relationship?
I think as long as both parties are fine with it, then it's alright.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the only problem for me is if any imbalance happens. Like if let's say for example the breadwinner comes back and it's just like, oh, this place is so messy. Oh, there's no food ready for dinner. Oh, this stuff isn't clean. Or like the person at home is just like, well, we're not making enough to make rent. We're not making enough to get this what we need. That's some imbalance.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, what Ella and Click in chat both brought up a really good point about that. It's just like, for example, in one scenario, it's like if you work a stressful job, you can come home to like dinner prepared for you and your family. I think that's like really nice. Like imagine you go out, you're just like stressful day at work, and you come home, there's dinner prepared, your wife's there, or like your husband's there, and the kids are there. Oh, that's so nice. You can just come home and relax and just rest.
Yeah.
But I guess like there's obviously the consequences like that you have to be careful of. Is like what if the relationship doesn't work out, and then that's gonna be an issue when you're like like for example, if the person who stays at home all the time separates, it might be an issue for them, or actually it'll be an issue for both of them, because then one person loses someone staying at home helping them with their chores and stuff, and the other person loses their financial income. So I guess it's like there's pros and cons to both.
It's weird. It's like it's almost like the person who like is a breadwinner, just like when they come back, like let's say they separated, right, and they're living independently. Like imagine them in their new place where they like come back tired and stressful from work, and it's just like, well, maybe they don't have time to do all the extra cleaning and making stuff, so that might lead to some issues. So it's like they like need each other,
I mean, this is the reality. This is the reality for a lot of people.
Yeah, it is.
Especially nowadays, the divorce rate is so high. There's a lot more. I think there's a lot more like single people. I think like anyway. So I think I thought about that because my cousin was telling me how the current like 9 to 5 workday, 5 days a week thing is like that whole thing was created around. So that whole thing was designed to work around like the traditional nuclear family. So then like you have like one person who goes out, and doesn't necessarily have time to do chores, and another person covers the chores, and then it's a win-win situation. But when you have a person who has to do both, like because they're single or something, then like it becomes really stressful. And
Exactly.
yeah.
Like, in case like there's like even when it comes to raising children, like raising kids is actually like holy crap, you actually need two people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's intense. I'm just like,
oh yeah, no,
dude,
I have a huge amount of respect for like single parents who actually do parenting well.
Yeah.
So much respect.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like a lot of like these traditional like family structures are or still revolve around having two parents around. But then at the same time, it's just like family structure and like the way of lifestyle. But then at the same time, divorce rates are so high. It feels like that's not the norm anymore. Just to have like two like a mom and a dad for a lot of kids out there.
You know, and it could be what we talked about before. You know, it could be the you know, romantic interest versus practicality. You know, there's probably a bunch of relationships where they they were in love with them, or they thought they were in love with them, but you know, as the marriage went on or whatever, they found out that their annoyances were too much, or like they didn't help enough, for example, or things like that. That like it was too much, they had to leave. You know, even the reverse, maybe they just got with somebody who's more practical, but at the end of the day, they're just like, I don't love this person. I'm gonna spend the rest of my life. I don't want to spend the rest of my life with them. And so they
dude,
it's hard. Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, it's definitely because like for me, for example, to answer this question, like I actually don't know how to answer this question. I'll be honest.
It's not easy.
Because I'm just like, actually, yeah, I think I would probably date someone who's just like I think would be good at house chores and would have like a good career or something like that, because like either that or I choose to stay single my whole life and not have any kids, because otherwise it just feel like there's gonna be too much work. For example, if you marry or date someone who's like you just like aren't able to work well together at home and stuff, and just like divide the work properly. So I feel like just like I'd probably lean more towards the practicality side rather than the romantic interests. I feel like if it's romantic interest, it'd probably just be like a fling or something, that kind of date where like you kind of just date just because you enjoy being with them, but then like in the long run it's probably not going to work out, that kind of thing. That's what I mean.
Right, like that's what I was saying at one point. I was just like, you know, these two ideas aren't mutually independent, you know. You gotta have a good mix of, in my opinion at least, I think you gotta have a good mix of both.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's ideal.
Either way, I feel like...
Yeah, but if it comes to like a more, I think, you know, definitely practicality, you want that more than like, you know, you want that to be overweight or at least pretty high in comparison to the romantic side.
Yeah. At the same time, I don't know, it's like for people who've like just to give people like who have never dated before an idea on relationships, right? So you know that butterfly feeling, you get when you first start dating someone. After a couple of months or something, you lose that butterfly feeling. So now you get used to your partner, and then just like I guess like I don't know if it's just the case in my relationship. I don't know if you two have had the same experience, but generally I think like after a couple of months of being with that person, you lose that butterfly feeling. So you can't expect yourself to have romantic, like, or you to be like head over heels in love throughout the whole duration of your relationship. So because it doesn't really work like that, and it's just like if it does, like, oh my god, that's actually like that's 1 in a billion chance or something like that. You have to.
Well, I wouldn't say 1 in a billion. I'd say it's definitely difficult, because I've definitely known quite a few couples that like genuinely do love each other, you know, a lot. So, but yeah, it's definitely hard for sure. Cause like, I think like exactly right. Like after the few months, like the cracks show, right? Like I feel like genuinely when you're first dating somebody, you just ignore their flaws or something like that.
Yeah.
And then like the longer you're with them, the more the flaws start to show, the more they start to annoy you, and but like if you can make it past like. I think that is even as a psychology concept is those first couple months, and I think once you make it past those first couple months, you know, if the feelings are still the same and things like that, I think it's a pretty good sign.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair. Bambi says low-key scared of dating because dating someone because of that. But here's the thing, like losing the butterfly feelings isn't a good thing. It's just like you just like I feel like a big part of a relationship is working through each other's flaws together as well, right? So like don't be afraid of losing those butterfly feelings. Just like work around it and just like learn to accept one another like and stuff.
I think you could also go and like because oftentimes the first relationship, especially if it's like in around like high school, are like not very. They're often not sustained. So like if you're okay with it, and if your partner's okay with it, like you can actually just date someone for a couple of months and then break up like that. Like not all relationships have to be long term. You can be just in it for the short ride, and then say, for example, oh, like it doesn't really work anymore. Then just go, oh, okay, we'll leave now, and then you don't necessarily. Then like the breakup doesn't necessarily have to be on bad. Like not all breakups are on bad terms. Like sometimes it's just like sometimes it's just oh, there's like this relationship thing is not working, but we can still be friends. And then you can still have a breakup on good terms. So. Like,
there's nothing wrong with having like I don't think there's anything wrong with having like a short-term relationship or a fling relationship. Because in the long run, you're still learning out from that relationship. You're still learning. Oh, what should I do better next relationship? How should I? Etc. Etc.
Yeah, I was about to say that too. Is that like, especially the relationships you have early on, there's gonna be so many mistakes that you make, and then like, there's just things that like you wouldn't realize or things you wouldn't know unless you actually dated somebody. And you know, me personally, I've definitely learned quite a few lessons from my relationships. And like I've had both. I've had the relationship where mutual breakup, we were just like, we're just really not into each other. We just broke up. We were chill. And I've had the relationship where it's just like, this is the worst thing in my life ever. I hate this person. Yeah, I've had both. And like, at the end of the day, I definitely did learn a lot from both of them. And that's just like, I don't know, it's weird. It sucks because just like those relationships end, but sometimes it's like you did learn a lot, and then hopefully the next relationship is better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, even the bad breakups was still like a learning experience because like if it's a bad breakup, that means you technically just dodged a bullet. You're fine.
Yeah.
It's a good thing because you dodged a bullet.
Extreme buffering. I wonder if that's because I only have one quality option. Okay, no, we have multiple quality options. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Continue.
Oh, okay. No, it's fine. Because I needed time to collect my thoughts for the next shape. But yeah, oh yeah. So in regards to the fling or long-term like topic that we were discussing just then, right? So I know, like, for example, media. I know in media you value relationship like in like your idea of relationship, like you want to date on the long term, right?
Yeah, that's my preferred thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So wait, in that case, like, would you not want to date someone if you think it's just gonna be like a fling, like it's gonna be a really short term relationship?
Yeah, cause if I have the knowledge of that going into the relationship, I'm definitely gonna be like, yeah, no thanks, because like I mean, I don't know if this sounds harsh, but it's just like it honestly feels like almost a waste of time in a certain aspect. You know what I mean?
But it takes experience.
I know. Like that's the thing. I know that definitely, but it's just like, yeah, it just feels. It's just like it just feels so. You know what I mean? Like in the back of my head, it just feels so. Like if again with the knowledge that I know is not gonna be very long, it's just like it just feels so pointless to me that it's just like, why would I do this?
Aww.
But that's just I don't know. Maybe that's just a me thing. I don't know. Just me.
Okay, that's fine. What about Sky? Would you rather have a hubby for lifey, or would you rather a hubby or wifey for lifey, or do you not mind like flings, where like short-term relationships where you just have fun with a partner but break up after a few months or so, for example?
Because here's the thing: when you answer these questions, you kind of like put yourself in the shoes of the positions of both, right? Does it make any sense? And then you kind of like figure out like what you think would be the best outcome. The thing is, I can't do that. Like the whole thing about me being in a relationship, like it just feels so surreal, and like well not surreal, but like it feels so impossible that I just can't imagine it. If that makes any sense. So
Okay.
because of that, I can't answer the question.
Okay, fair. I feel like as well you should like This is actually a question you should consider. Wait, hold up. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think a family has called it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, okay. We gotta double back. Dang it. There was something I want to talk about, but I couldn't. It was something
no.
when you guys were going on. Oh, I can't remember.
Sorry,
Wait.
I'm back. Sorry.
Okay.
I got
Okay, well,
It's okay. I delayed by thinking of something I couldn't remember. But go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so what I was saying was like, yeah, meteor is wholesome. But yeah, what I was
You
saying,
wish.
I was gonna say like, for example, the question of fling or long term is also something you should consider like before you go into a relationship. It's just like,
Mm-hmm.
oh well, before you start
100%,
seeking
yeah.
out relationships in general, I
Oh,
think.
100%,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, I feel like before, maybe it's like a good question to ask yourself before you start seeking out relationships. Like, oh, do you want a relationship where you're kind of just having a fling and you don't plan on dating long term, or would you rather have a relationship where like you want to date for the long term? I feel like that's a good idea to like that's a good question to have to ask yourself before you actually start dating, for example.
Oh, I remember what I was thinking of when you were gone. There's definitely, tell me if you guys agree with this. I definitely think there's a difference between going on a date and dating.
Okay.
You guys agree, disagree?
Yeah, fair.
Agree.
Yeah, I think what is it? Because we're talking about a lot like before you get into a relationship things like that. I think like you were completely valid going on a bunch of different dates with different people if you want to, but like you know what I mean. But like once you're dating that person, once you're boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, you know what I mean. once you're actually dating, you know, obviously you only go on dates with that person, but before you're actually committed to someone and dating someone, you can like honestly, I would honestly even somewhat recommend like going on dates with different people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then, like, at the same time, dating and just going on a date is so different as well.
Oh yeah, 100%. I just wanted to like, you know, cause words.
Put it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I don't know. Maybe some people might think like, oh, I went on a date with this person. That means I have to eventually date them. It's like, no, you can go on a date with somebody and not date them. Even it's like
Yeah.
words are weird. So.
Yeah, there's also that other thing like that I think like is a bit of a concern when it comes to dating. It's
Mhm.
just like you have to find the difference between whether like what do you guys like thoughts on infatuation and love, right? Do you consider
Mhm.
infatuation and love the same thing, or are they like
I don't
different
think so.
things?
I think they're different.
Different?
Yeah.
What about you, Sky?
To be honest.
Tough question.
It is tough. Yeah. I've thought of this many a time. That's why I answered it very quickly.
But then at the same time, because like
Because for me, okay, right? For me, infatuation is just like that intense feeling of somebody being interested in you and you being interested in that someone. And I think uh the key factor in that is that it's a someone. But I think when it comes to love, it's more like, oh, this specific person. Like you are, let's say infatuation is you're in love with the concept of having a girlfriend, where love is you are in love with insert person's name here. If that makes sense?
mm-hmm.
Right. I don't know
That's
if that makes sense.
interesting.
That's what I think
Because
at
I
least.
felt like infatuation, or I thought infatuation still meant like the definition still meant you're still like interested in someone.
Yeah,
But it's
I
just
don't
a
know
short-lived
definition wise.
passion.
That's just, you know, my personal like thoughts on it.
Okay, because I was thinking about it, right? Because
Mhm.
at first I thought like I felt like infatuation and love are like in the past I did think that they were separate, but at the same time, it's just like in a way they're kind of the same. Because you know how
Like,
when
yes,
you love someone, yeah.
yeah, I
What
think
were you
personally for me, I think it's like yes and no.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
there's the yes side in terms of that love can also be defined as like being attracted to someone, but then which is what infatuation is. But then at the same time, there's also that love can be long term, whereas infatuation implies it's short term. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
depending on what perspective you see it as, it's yes no.
Mhm.
True,
It's
but
yes
at
and
the
no.
same like after you date someone for a little bit, wouldn't you just lose those like you eventually lose those romantic feelings anyway. So
Right.
like
That's infatuation.
Oh, what? No, but I feel like
That's what I think.
No, but you know how I said how like if you date someone for like a couple of months or something, after a couple of months you're gonna lose those butterfly feelings and that feelings of love. Like pretty much, that's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm saying like that would be an example of like infatuation where it's short-lived. Yeah, I think.
Because I actually think every single relationship would be like that, where like you love them for the first few months of dating them, but then you start losing that like feeling of like butterfly feeling. It's not really.
Really? Yeah, no. I've seen plenty of people where their relationships are fine after many years of being married and stuff.
Actually, yeah, okay. So I think love can't be defined by like those butterfly feelings you get when you're dating someone. I think love should
That's
be
fair.
like something much more deep and like than
That's fair.
that.
That's
Okay,
fair.
it makes sense. Yeah, so I'm very practical. I like to follow dictionary.
Now click plus to the
Um,
definition.
yeah. Wait, what is it? What are
And
you
then
guys talking about in chat?
uh
I think that might be media. Oh, okay.
wait.
Here you go. It's copy paste from Google.
Okay.
Yeah, intense but short-lived passion or admiration for someone or something. Yeah, I think okay, never mind. Yeah, I agree. I think infatuation and love are two different things. And infatuation is kind of like you just want to have a fling with someone, just like hang out. Whereas love is like you want to go all the way with them. Yeah, that kind of thing.
I agree with that.
Okay,
as well.
Makes sense. That sounds alright. All right. So actually, that was like the first section of the topic that I wanted to talk about. The second bit I wanted to talk about, the second like section of this podcast I want to talk about is actually how to get the girl or guy you're interested in to like you.
Okay, here we go. We got the advice section. Okay, this is good. This is really like get the notepads out, y'all. This is it. This is it. Get the notepads out. It's time.
Oh boy, media. Okay, media. Time to listen to media sense.
I mean, y'all want to go first, or do I want to go first?
No. Media look like you got a lot to say.
Okay.
So,
All right. Time for the boys. This is the boys podcast now. I'm about to talk to the boys here. Listen up, y'all. Listen up, cause I see y'all ain't doing it right. No, I'm kidding. Okay. Honestly, okay. Genuinely, I think this is one of the biggest things actually when it comes to talking to girls, especially when you're in romantically like interested in them. And this is a fault a lot of guys do is, and it sounds weird, but a lot of guys are way too positive and nice towards girls. What do I mean by that?
Yes. If you're like that, the girl will suss you out. And they'll be like, something reacting. Oh, this guy sounds kind of fake.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna go. So.
Yeah.
So go on.
Oh, you say, Crow?
No. I was gonna say, yeah, pretty much don't freaking don't white knight for every single girl you meet. Cause like, no girls, you're not gonna get anywhere with any girl unless the girl had like super low self-esteem or something like that, which is pretty sad.
Yeah. And, also take that into account too. Everything I'm gonna say, it depends on whatever girl you're talking to. Everybody is different, so it definitely depends. But yeah. But yeah, that's the thing. When it comes to girls, there needs to be a balance of positive and negative. There needs to be a balance. And what do I mean by negative? I mean like, I know it sounds weird, but low key insulting them. Low key. What is it? Teasing them. That's another negative thing. Technically, it's a negative thing. You need those negative things because those negative things makes the girl think about you, makes the girl remember you, and it makes you stand out compared to all the other guys she could be talking to or all the other people she's talking to, because negative things stay in your mind. There's a legitimate study where it looked at what things people clicked on like social media. The number one thing people clicked on is things that made them angry, because it literally sticks in your mind and it makes them want to think about that. So that's one key thing to consider. Another key thing to consider is just like, how do you engage the conversation, right? You need to find something that you can talk about with them, whatever that is. You know what, we live in an age of like the internet. There's no way somebody's interests are not public knowledge. You know what I mean? Especially if they're like on Discord, things like that. Then you have like an easy one, like what games they're into, things like that. So find that connection, talk about that, you know, talk about that first, and then you can slip in the little more relationship-ish things, you know, talk about the, let's say a game, for example, let's say Elsword, for example, talk about like Elsword and things like that, and then you slip in those little extra like things that about them. It's just like, oh, what else are you into, like what other games are you into, and like if you can talk about their personality or things like that, etc., etc., then that's when you slip those in, you know, because you get the general interest that you know, so you know they'll talk to you for that, and you slip in those extra things, and maybe you'll slip in like, hey, do you want to go on a date, if you actually live close with them, you can be like, oh, do you want to go get some coffee or whatever like that, or like you want to this movie's coming out, if you know they like a certain, like, let's say Marvel, for example, Marvel movie's coming out, he's like, oh, do you want to watch this new movie's coming out, like, you want to watch it with me? And it's just like, that's the little things that you slip in. Next thing, I'm trying to think of what it was. I had it in my head, and then I went on the second tangent. What was it? Oh, this was a good one too. Dang it. What was it?
Can I say something?
Yeah, go for it. I'll try to remember.
In regards to the whole bit where you said about tease the girl and stuff, obviously, like, yeah, that's fine, yeah, but obviously don't let the girl catch you teasing every single girl you meet, like, oh, you're trying to tease every single, like,
yeah,
if they
that's true
that
too.
little bit of like disloyalty or that the little bit of hoe in you, I'm sorry, that if they feel like you go around and you like, oh, you flirt with every single girl you meet with, you're a bit of a player, then they're gonna lose. That's a huge turn off. Like, they're gonna be like super like uninterested after all. Like, some girls might like popular guys, but I don't know. For me, I'm like, if you're a popular guy who like flirted with like every girl and got along with every girl you talk to, I'd be like, red flag. I'd rather not deal with that.
That makes sense. Dang it! What was the other thing? No, I forgot. I should have written it down.
I think another thing with teasing is you have to watch the reaction as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. You gotta be on the ball with that.
Yeah. For example, if they're like really anxious and they really don't take the teasing well, then you know. Don't go. That's absolutely no go.
Yeah, like let's say you make a little like risque joke, like let's say you make an NSFW joke, and they are not into that, and they tell you to stop. You stop. Don't keep going with that. That's okay. Here's a mini lesson for you. When it comes to pushing certain things, you push once, you don't push again. Like if a girl says they don't want it, like if they make it somewhat established that they don't want to do something. Like I had had a situation. My friend was telling me about a situation where let me actually not out people. Anyway, the point is that this guy pushed this girl like 3 times to like stay over, even though she did not want to stay over. You get one.
Staying over is huge.
Yeah. Well, like, okay. Again, there's certain circumstances. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that if you know she doesn't want to do something, you get one push. If you push more than once, no, you messed up. You messed up so hard.
You done fucked up.
Yeah. And like, doing that one push is honestly, okay in certain circumstances, because it at least shows like it depends. Again, in this little circumstance of like wanting you to stay over, you at least have that like, okay, they wanted me to stay over, so they're into me. So you at least have that. But if you push multiple times, you are annoying. You are not respecting their boundaries, and a myriad of other things. So again, when it comes to a situation like that, you get one push. Don't do more.
Yeah, like the biggest thing with any relationship, like not even romantic relationships, like just like friendships and stuff, is respect. That's a big part of it. And if you're not willing to respect that, then like, no, it's not gonna work out. So I think
it's like no means no. It's like what Cliff said.
No, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No means no.
Bro, why can I not do this third thing? I'm like actually killing myself right now.
all of this is common sense. Well, unfortunately, it's not. That's why we're sitting here talking about it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of people like. I feel like as well, especially if you're a guy trying to date a girl, you actually do need to like hyper-analyze anything. Like if she does, you probably need to think very deeply into all her messages. Like if you feel like there's like some sort of hint in that message, you need to think, okay, don't like this, don't like, because like the thing is like girls can be like very like a bit well, not all girls, right? But most girls can be a bit, like very vague with what they want, and if like, it can be frustrating for a girl if you don't understand what they want, right? So then sometimes you kind of do need to like hyper analyze a girl's message. It's like, what does this mean? If they respond with just a K, did you fuck up? You might have fucked up.
Yeah,
For
maybe.
example. But like, I think this is something that it's gonna you can only like learn with practice. It's like it's just so like difficult. Like girls can be so like difficult sometimes, and it's just like it can't be hard because it's just like emotionally. That's what they. I think girls tend to be pretty emotional people as well.
I remember what it was.
Okay, go on.
Okay, this is another like genuine. This is a psychological like concept and everything. How do I say this in a way that makes sense? Figure out a way that she can either do something for you or do a favor for you. Because another psychological concept where if somebody has enough trust, if someone trusts you enough to do something, that means they're interested in you to a certain degree. And this could be anything. You know, let's go to school, for example. Let's say you missed a class, you missed something, and like the person you're interested in, you know they're a smart person. You can just be like, oh, what were the notes? Can you give me the notes for this class? Or if you know you're gonna be out from a class, you can be like, oh, I'm gonna be out. Is it all right that you can just send me the notes or whatever we have to do? Just that little small thing that establishes trust. Even a little bit, that establishes a level of trust that you can work off of. Like if they do something for you, you know they can trust that they trust you, and then you can trust them. Mutual trust. This is the main thing. It's like mutual trust. Even the little bits of mutual trust, that's very, very important.
That's true. True. I agree.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to add is actually for specifically for guys and actually for girls too as well. It applies to both guys and girls. Like if you're interested in someone, don't be too easy. Don't cave too easily. Like if they show a bit of interest, it's like play. I don't like to encourage this, but unfortunately, it does kind of work. Play the chase game, is what I'm saying.
Only to an extent, yeah.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so I guess it's yes. I guess it's like I guess the message that you're sending here is that you have some kind of respect for yourself as well.
Yeah.
So then if they see that, then they're like, okay, this person's a person. Like they're not just simping for me.
Yeah.
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 Like work for each other, make each other work.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like what media would tell me is just like there's got to be a balance in a relationship. It's just like you both have to be putting like the same amount of effort into the relationship. You don't want to have one person doing all the chasing, like one person trying to like woo this other person. Like it's very one-sided and stuff. I guess it's like in K-dramas, for example, they actually glorify that. They're like, oh, the guy has to be the one trying to woo the girl the whole time. I don't know. I feel like it's nice to have a bit of that balance where like you're both
like one thing if you are now this is me flipping the script. Okay, yeah, before I flip the script, let me quickly go over the three main tips if you want to start talking to girls. Is remember that balance of positive and negative, find that mutual interest, and try to establish a little bit of trust. Yeah, those are the top three things. When it comes to girls seeking after guys, one actually kind of big thing is it's so weird, but if a girl compliments a guy, even on something very, very small, that means a lot to a guy.
Yeah, 110%.
I think even for a girl, it works the same. Like if you compliment a girl on something, like they'll appreciate it a lot as well. I think as long you're not like overly complimenting, like to the point where you're feeling like you're acting like you're starting to feel like a white knight. Just like a side remark, like, oh dang, I like your new hairstyle.
Yeah. You can't overspam. Yeah, you can't overspam. Yeah, especially for a guy complimenting a girl as well. Don't compliment them every time. If you see something is genuinely different and you compliment them occasionally, it's more impactful.
It's effective. Yep. I think when it comes to compliments as well, like it's a lot better to compliment a choice that they've made rather than something that's innate. So say for example, if you tell a girl you're pretty, versus if you tell her, hey, I like your makeup. Like there's a very distinct difference. Like pretty, well, I guess pretty is a bit broad, but like if you compliment a choice that they've made, So maybe it could be like the hairstyle, it could be the
Yeah,
haircut,
yeah,
it could be the makeup, it could be the dress, that kind of thing. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's more effective.
Yeah. Ella asks media in chat, can you explain prom and promposals? As an Australian,
Okay.
this is super fucking new to me.
So for people who don't know, a prom is a dance and event that happens at the end of year 3 and year 4 of high school, so junior and senior year. That's pretty much all it is. It's just been super. I think it's just a popular thing that happens in America, so people hype it up like super hard that it's just like so important, but whatever. It's honestly whatever. Promposals are like essentially a proposal of like, will you go to prom with me? And people make it all a big thing just because it's just. I think it's just tradition at this point. That's the reason why. Me personally, I never went to prom. I went to after prom once, which is just like, at least for my school. At least for my school, after prom was a thing where just like people would just hang out, have fun. There was free food and stuff like that. Low key, it was just there so that people didn't like rent hotels and have those sex. But yeah, that's why after prom was a thing. I went to that. It was fun. I just hanged out with my friends and just chilled out. But actual prom, like, have fun. Enjoy your high school life and have fun. But don't. I would say, at least for me, just don't worry too much about it, and definitely don't spend too much money on it, because some people go all out with like the clothes that they buy and like renting limousines and things like that. Like, it's really not that important, y'all. Like, it's
I feel like
really not.
I feel like in Australia it's a bit more low key than that. Why is it a bit more on that? Yeah.
We have the end of
here put formal. Formal.
Same thing.
So
pretty much.
you have one. So you have one at the end of year 10. So for us, like when we count years, we start from like the bottom of primary school. So year 10. So year 10 would have been like the final year in high school, and then I know a fair amount of people in. Okay, so I guess kind of important to know that I went to an all girls high school. So everyone in my school who had boyfriends would have had them from other schools. A good amount of them were from the local the boys' school that's like right next to us. But so I think a lot of the time how it worked is if you were going to formal and you wanted a date but you didn't actually have a boyfriend, a lot of them would a lot of people in my grade actually like socialize a fair amount with the boys in the other school. Like not necessarily as a romantic, like not necessarily romantically, like just like they were friends. And I think some of them went to the formal and just brought their like male friend over because they wanted to go. But obviously going without a date is kind of awkward. So you then go, hey, like you come with me, and then they all go and have a good time.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I think here it's more like, hey, do you want to go together? And telling someone that you want to go to formal with them isn't necessarily it's not necessarily a big step in like the romantic like path thing. It's just, do you want to come? It's like the same thing as asking a friend out if they want to go to if they want to go to dinner, basically.
Yeah. Because I think one other issue, this was a particular issue in my school, was just like we'd always have issues with numbers when it came to formal. So then like every formal at my school is just like, oh guys, please invite someone because we need more people to come. So then that was like the other reason why like at our school we had to keep inviting like extras from other schools to come with us.
Wow.
Yeah, because like my school's very small, obviously, right? So then,
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, what ended up happening is that our year 12 formal, like half the people that were there were just strangers from elsewhere. weren't even like our school because our school numbers were just too small. Yeah. Such. But yeah, actually.
Oh wait, also real quick, because Click talked about public promposals. Okay, if you were asked out with like a promposal, and you don't want to go with the person, say yes in the moment, and then after tell them no, and then and add in you just didn't want to publicly embarrass them. That's the best way to handle that. Cool. Yeah, that's the best way to handle that.
I was gonna say just publicly embarrass them.
Okay.
Hey, look.
Oh no.
They should have known the risks if they're a public proposal, man. You're gonna get rejected.
I mean, you could, but I'm saying like that's probably the most intelligent thing to do. You can't just out them on the spot.
I guess, yeah. I guess it's like you'll probably completely destroy them if you outed them in public or something like that. But yeah, I guess yeah, media's idea is definitely much more respectful,
Sensible.
Yeah, cause like,
sensible.
what is it? I remember watching a couple videos of just like, people getting rejected after like a big proposal, and it's just like, man, that the person who started the proposal and like made the whole thing is like, oh, they probably feel dejected, and like now they're gonna be ridiculed for it. It's just like, you should have just like said yes and said no later.
Yeah,
Just
okay,
spare
fair.
them, please.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, yeah. If someone publicly proposes, just fucking say yes in public, and then later it's like no.
Yeah.
It sounds kind of funny, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick. I wanna ask a question for the male and females. Okay, so media. How do you
What's
tell if a guy is into you? Like for the girls out there to know.
Oh, as a girl, how do you tell a guy's into you?
Yeah.
Good question. How do you tell if a guy's into you? I mean, honestly, like, it sounds so dumb. Guys are just stupid. Like, if you just want to, like,
Yeah.
if you just want to do something with a guy, and then like, if like, if they just say yes to whatever you want to do, whether it be like hang out or like things like that, enough, you're probably good to go. Like, to be honest, like they're probably pretty into you, unless I can't really, like, I honestly can't really think about like anything in particular. You know what I mean?
I guess.
Maybe I can think of something. Let me
Oh.
if you have an answer, maybe I can think about it more.
Okay. So wait. So you think like it's very easy for a guy to be into it, like to like get into you? It's really easy to get a guy into you or something like that. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, like, I'm just thinking about like going back, like in high school, right? If a girl just came up to me and was just like, "I like you," I'd be like, "Heck yeah!" Like, yeah, we're in there. Like, I think a lot of guys are like that. I don't know.
Yeah, but like you'd probably say heck yeah, but would you be into that girl like if she just said
Yeah, because okay, obviously the answer here is like what signals or like what things can you feel out from a guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, man, this like I guess like if they want to hang out with you a lot or like
hard to say.
yeah, this is a toughie for me. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I feel like every person would be different anyway
Mhm.
as well. Like some guys would probably be very
Yeah,
charismatic when it comes to you. Some guys would probably get really shy around you or something like that.
Cause Click just mentioned something, and I've definitely done this before. Like, I've definitely had a situation where like I friend zoned a girl, and like maybe she thought I was into her because I was just being friendly. I wasn't. And then she quickly learned that. But I mean, I guess it's just tough. I don't know. I'm not a player. Shut up.
I mean, yeah, you are a player. You play Elsword. Elsword player. I'm sorry. Well, okay. What about Sky? How do you tell if a girl is into you?
You're asking someone who's been to an all-girls high school.
Yeah, that works.
Is our target audience like male or
no? I think it could be any.
or-
Okay, I think it could be anyone. Like, okay, like guy, girl, no matter your persuasion. How do you tell if a girl is into you? Like, let's go with that. Like,
I feel like the better question would be how you two would show your interest towards someone, like subtly.
I would not.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fair.
I actually doesn't know.
I don't freaking know. I don't know. It's just more that I don't know. I don't know.
Wait, you guys don't know how you guys would show your interest in someone? Like, if you were interested in someone, like you'd act differently around them. Like
Probably. Like that's the thing. Like I probably do, but I probably don't notice. Maybe that makes sense.
Yeah, honestly, understandable. It's just like, yeah, it's hard to say. Yeah. To be fair, yeah, it's a hard question. It's like definitely, there's definitely no definitive answer to this question.
Mm-hmm. Cause like,
yeah, I guess to answer the question, I wouldn't.
Mm-hmm. Cause
I just wouldn't. Like if I was infant zone, I wouldn't act any differently. I just treat them. I just be myself.
Cause like, okay, random tangent, but it kind of aligns with what we're talking about here. Going back to the meteors of player thing, I've definitely been friend zoned quite a bit. Not quite a bit, but like at least a couple of times. And like, I had both situations where I was just like, I felt it out enough that I was just like, okay, this is probably not gonna go anywhere, so I'm not gonna embarrass myself and ask them out. And I've definitely had another moment where I definitely asked somebody out and they just straight up rejected me. That didn't feel great. But yeah, I know. I think that's why I'm like struggling so hard to think of something, because of just like I've definitely had both, and in both those situations, it kind of felt the same. I don't know. It's weird. Hard question.
Okay, fair.
Also,
like,
go ahead. I was gonna ask you guys a question.
Like, in regards to this question, how to tell if someone's into you, I feel like you kind of just really need to like, you do need a bit of analyzing, and just hang out. Like, if you feel like they act a little bit differently around you, then your chances are like 30% or something like that. There's 30% chance they're into you. And like, if you notice that they like tend to be more talkative, or like they want to talk to you more often, they find chances to talk to you more often, then like 50% chance that they're into you or something like that. I'm referencing a K-drama. I don't know if anyone's getting this reference, but yeah. So yeah, you kind of really just have a look at this. If it feels like they're acting differently around you, they're being more cautious around you. Maybe who knows? You never know, but you can never be certain unless you ask. Yeah,
like also. Okay, if you guys don't mind, I was gonna ask another question. Is that okay? You guys good?
Yeah. Of course,
okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys like had some final thoughts on that question or anything like that.
No.
Okay. So good question. Do you think the friend zone exists?
Oh.
Because I think there's quite a lot of people who say that like the friend zone's not real, it's not a thing, and same amount of people that can just be like, yeah, the friend zone's real. Do you guys think the friend zone is real?
How would you guys define the friend zone?
I think the friend zone is where you just in your mind, either you're a guy or a girl, in your mind you're just like, I do not want to date this person. I think that is it in its rawest definitions. But you still are nice to them, I guess.
I'm like thinking about it. I feel like if a male friend that I knew, like if I had a male friend and I only thought of this person as a friend, if they tried to confess with me and tried to date, I feel like it would actually just ruin our friendship, and like we'd probably just stop talking to each other. So like now that I think about it, like does a friend zone actually exist? I'm not sure, because I feel like if a guy confesses and gets rejected, they wouldn't even be in the friend zone. They will be in the not even talking to you anymore zone, I think.
Well, I meant more so that you kind of have like the friend zone is more like, okay, I've been friend zoned, I have no chance of going out with them. Like, do you think that exists? Like I've been friend zoned, like kind of thing.
Like also friend. So wait. So how do you define friends? As in, like, if you get in that zone, you have zero chances of dating them ever again. You can never date.
Not ever again, just ever.
Oh.
Yeah, they're not interested in you enough to want to date.
They're romantic. But so they're not romantically interested in you, but they are 100% okay with being friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you have no chance of dating them. Do you think that exists?
But
if that's me, what if that's me? What if that's me with everyone?
Could be. I'm just saying that because like a lot of people think that doesn't exist. I personally think it exists. The friend zone.
Wait, why do people not think the friend zone exists?
Yeah, I'd like to hear that.
I mean, honestly, good question. I really didn't. I honestly shouldn't have looked that up. I mean, I honestly should have looked that up. Why people don't think it exists? I mean, I think it's just because people are just like, yeah, I'm not sure.
People can be convinced.
Maybe. Like I definitely think that like you can get out of the friend zone. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely think that. Okay, that's the thing, right? I definitely think there is a friend zone, Like in the sense of just like there's gonna be people who just they don't want to date you, but they still want to be nice to you, essentially be your friend. And I definitely think that you can get out of that kind of relationship with them where they're like, oh yeah, I would want to date you. At that point, I think you're out of the friend zone. If they're like willing to date you, then you're out of the friend zone. Well, I definitely think the friend zone's a thing.
Okay. Actually, with that in mind, I think the friend zone does exist. Yeah, you can be in the friend zone. Yeah, you can. Because I'm like thinking about it, I think there is a guy in my friend group who's in my friend zone right now.
Yeah, there's definitely people that you just don't want to date, but you want to be friends with them. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
based on your preferences.
Okay, so I think definitely friend zone does exist. Yep. For sure. But what about the question of like, for example, would you want to ask someone out? So you're interested in someone, like, would you risk, but you're unsure if your feelings are like reciprocated? Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you risk asking them out at the chance of your friendship being ruined, or would you never ask them out? And like,
okay.
That.
As I think my biggest answer there is wait until you're 99% or at least 90%. Even honestly, maybe even wait until you're 100%. Like you get a confirmation from somebody else or something like that. Because as somebody who has taken that step where they were just like 50% sure or like whatever percent sure and they got rejected, that rejection sucks. And that friendship was definitely, it was done. I never talked to that person again. Like, or not really ever at all. We never hanged out again, and it really does suck. I think that's my main thing, is just like make sure you're 100%. Like, one of the biggest things is getting confirmation from one of their friends. It's an honestly simple thing to do, and really, if you really want to ask somebody out, and you don't at least take that step to at least check with their friends that like they could be into you, like I think you're setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, but what if the friend you ask tells them that you asked that question? Then it's kind of like
it's a risk too. It's definitely a risk. You know what I mean? Like that's why the response that they give you is important. Like if they say yeah, then like that's if then at least I guess my main thing is at least you took that extra step. You know what I mean? Then you can't put the blame fully on yourself. You're just like, well, you can at least tell yourself like, oh, well, I asked them, I did the best I could, compared to just going all in with all you got, and it says like got rejected, now it's awkward.
What if you want to confess, and if you confess and it doesn't work out, you'll just be put in the friend zone? Would you still try to confess, or would you still wait till it's like confirmed?
Yeah, I think still wait, just for me, just to wait. Cause okay, the big thing with me, maybe I'm different from other people, but a big thing with me is that friendships are very important to me. That if I lose somebody, if I genuinely lose a friend, I just hate it. I just hate it a lot. I really do. So that's why I wouldn't do it.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, until I'm 100% sure, I honestly wouldn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guy, would you agree or disagree?
Wait, so the original question is if we have like some confirmation that. So wait, sorry, what was the original question again?
So pretty much like, if you are interested in someone and you want to go ahead and confess to them, but there's a chance that you get put in the friend zone if you do confess, would you still try and confess?
I wouldn't confess even if I had 100% confirmation that they return my feelings.
Oh, what?
Interesting.
Wait, what?
I think it's because like personally I find it so unbelievable that people have feelings for me that my brain would just constantly be like, no, they don't like me.
That's real.
No, they actually don't like me.
That's so real.
Yeah, and then I just don't do it because even if they like straight up tell me like, hey, I like you, I'm just gonna be like, inside my brain I'm gonna be like, no, they don't.
Oh. God dang. Okay. All right then. Sure. Fine. No. Fair enough.
Yeah. It's I don't know. It's definitely a big risk, and yeah, like that's like I guess that's just the biggest thing. Is just like a big risk, and like at least talk to other people about it. I guess that's another big thing. Like your friend, like even not even not even their friends, your friends. You know, talk to your friends about it. Like if you should do it. You know, sometimes you need an outsider's perspective.
Okay, fair. Okay.
Also, real quick, Click mentioned something that she got rejected, but they're still friends. Yeah, of course that happens. You know, yeah, that happens. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Well, it's just whether you're willing to go to risk it or not. Because there has definitely, because like I can definitely think of like situations right now where if any of my male friends tried to confess to me and try to date me, like it'd probably ruin our friendship. So it's just like there's like you think we might be like over over paranoid, but nah, it can definitely happen where if you confess, you ruin your friendship with
Oh yeah, no, it has happened. It has happened to me. I can literally think of 2 people I have just not spoken to.
Yeah.
And it sucks. It really does suck.
Oh, you walk like a fine line of like danger when it comes to these things.
Yeah, I don't know.
So actually, sometimes I wonder whether it's different if depending on the gender or the person you're confessing to.
Maybe.
Say for example, you're in or at least like because I was in an all girls high school, I saw no shortage of lesbian couples, and then sometimes like I can't, and then sometimes like I can, like at least like from what I've heard, like sometimes confessing just it just sounds a lot more like bearable in that kind of situation, especially since the environment is very LGBT friendly. It's kind of like if you confess to them and then you go sorry, but I'm straight, for example. Actually, how many people like grade do I know who are straight? Yeah, because most of the people that I were like close, not really close, but more like the people that I usually talk to, so like the people in Coca-Cola music program or people in my music class, like most of them were not straight actually. So it was kind of, so I guess like I imagine that from their perspective, like if it was like I feel like for them, like it's harder to get in their friend zone as a girl, if it makes any sense. So say for example like offhand I like someone and I confess to them, and then and then it's just like, oh well, yeah, so yeah, and then yeah, sorry, I don't retain your feelings, or like, yeah, sorry, I'm straight. Then like, I don't know. I feel like the impact is a lot less. For at least from what I've seen of the other people doing that. So yeah, I don't know. It might be something to consider.
Yeah. One thing I was gonna say is when it comes to getting rejected, funny enough, because I started thinking about them again because I obviously haven't thought about them in a while. I've actually dodged 2 bullets in terms of like getting rejected. Funny enough, the first bullet I dodged is I asked somebody out, they rejected me. Turns out, like a couple years later, they came out to be gay anyway, and they like girls. And I was like, well, okay, that's good. Then it wasn't my fault. They just weren't into the guys. Cool.
Yeah,
it definitely makes you feel better. Yeah, it definitely does make you feel better. You're just like, oh, cool. It wasn't anything with me. They weren't shooting for my team. Like they just weren't even into guys. And the other one got rejected. Is like I found out like a couple years later that in a relationship they were not the person they were when they were not in a relationship, and apparently they were a very crappy person actually in a relationship. And it's like, huh, dodged a bullet there. Cool.
We take those.
Yeah, no, definitely take those.
Actually, we're good to move on to the next another question I have written down here.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next question I have written down is, what kind of person would you like to date? Like this is just for the fan. In case there's a fan out there who's interested in asking one of you.
Wasn't this the first question?
No. It's like I said like, what kind of person would you like be interested in? Yeah, pretty much.
Hifumi Togo from the game Persona 5.
Yeah.
There you go. No, I'm being serious. Okay, I'm legitimately being serious. Like, somebody who's that is genuinely fun to talk to and very much into what they do, and that they're fine teaching what they can do. Yeah. So that's the person that's the type of person I'm into. Somebody who, like, on the surface they may seem one way, but when you actually get to know them, there are a lot of different ways.
Yeah,
Someone
basically.
yeah,
You need a gap. Oh.
Yeah. If you're talking about like, okay, you want to go looks wise, I'm very into long hair. That's a top thing with me. People who look they at least somewhat care about their body. That's important to me. We talked about this in another podcast, but medium is premium. Yeah, those are like big factors.
The media fans take note. No,
Calm down.
Okay, what about Sky? What kind of person would you like to date? Like, yeah.
The problem is the definition of what I want to see in a person when I date is exactly the opposite of dating. I don't know whether that makes sense, but
what? What?
because of the one of the biggest problems with me is that I need a lot of alone time, like a heck of a lot of alone time.
Oh, okay.
So like, and the whole prospect of being in a romantic relationship is that it's high maintenance. If you're dating someone, that's kind of high maintenance, right? But the thing is, I can't handle that. So then, I guess by extension, I can't handle relationships. Period.
Yeah, that makes sense. That means you want someone who is low maintenance. You're interested in someone who's low maintenance, and you'd rather have a low maintenance relationship than one where you guys have to hang out all the time.
People like that exist.
Like what is it? I think a myriad of relationships just do exist.
Like I can see a friendship being low maintenance. I can see a low maintenance friendship because like that's kind of what I have with my cousin actually. But it's
I think there's enough personality types out there. You know what I mean?
Because my you know my 5-year long relationship. That relationship was a low maintenance relationship. That 5-year long relationship. Because like literally the only time we'd ever meet up would be like we'd go gym, and we don't really actually just go on dates with each other. We just go gym together, and that's about it. We didn't need to fret too much about getting gifts for each other on Valentine's Day, birthdays and stuff, because we were both very sieves about it. So yeah, they definitely do exist. Like, yeah, sieves. You just definitely need to find that person, because you can definitely just find a low maintenance relationship. But the one issue about it was just like after a couple of years, it was just like I realized I wanted more than low maintenance. And then that's like, because like people change obviously, and that's where the relationship fall out. Yeah, so pretty much. So it's like definitely there's gotta be someone out there who would probably be into the same thing. It's just like you just gotta find the right person, pretty much.
I didn't know people like that existed, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really just like, just fun. Yeah. There's like 7 billion people in this world.
Yeah,
You're definitely gonna find someone.
Like that's my thing, right?
True.
Whenever people talk about, oh, you know, am I gonna ever find somebody, or like, oh, does this relationship type exist, or it's like, oh, just like, whenever it talks about anything about relationships, I'm just like, there's literally enough people in this world that like all these conditions can be made somehow. You know what I mean? You know, finding them. I never said finding them was easy or anything like that, but I definitely think it is possible.
Actually, which leads me to wonder, like, do you guys use a dating app to find that special someone, or it's just like? But at the same time, I feel like Sky would be like she wouldn't care enough to like use a dating app to.
No, I wouldn't. No.
Yeah. I wouldn't. I think the thing with me is that when it comes to a dating app, it's just like, I don't know, like I think it's just like, in a weird way, there's like too many options, I guess, if that makes sense. I know it sounds kind of weird, but it's just like I feel like there's just a mentality of it's just like, nah, I won't talk to this person or check this person out because I can just keep scrolling, or it's just like, you know, it's like, how much do you even trust them if you just find them just from a dating app? Not to say that you find people on dating apps that those relationships won't work out, because obviously they do. I know I've heard about them doing, you know, again, like I said, anything is possible. I just personally wouldn't use it because I think there's just way too many factors going against it, in my opinion.
Fair, understandable. Okay, fair. Well, actually, for me, when it comes to who I would be interested in, I honestly don't know, because like So the past few years, all the guys I've been interested in have all had something to do with Raven, and that's literally the main driving factor for me developing an interest in these guys. Okay, but obviously it can't just be Raven. Like they've got to be like easy to talk with. Like we've got to have like I guess we've got to have like similar interests, for example. Like they gotta like, for example, it's probably gonna have to be someone who plays Elsword, like who's willing to play Elsword with me, or like. Yeah, yeah, dude. Yeah, and like they gotta be like able to talk, like easy to talk with, fun to talk with, and for example, etc., etc. But that's like romantically interest, right? Obviously, like I feel like my standards would like, if I said too much for my standards, it'd be too high of a standards. Because then I feel like I'd also want someone who'd like really be really good career wise and would be able to like help me with house chores, etc., etc. I don't know, because I've actually not been particularly interested in relationships this past year or so. So yeah, it's a bit of a it's meh for me as well. It's like so. Sometimes you can't just relationship to come as it goes there. Just like don't plan for it, expect the unexpected kind of thing. I think eventually you'll probably just like find someone you like anyway.
Yeah, like that's the thing too, is just like as you know, as you keep going, it's just like, you know, you will just, you know, levitate towards certain like groups, like even online groups, and then you're gonna meet a lot of people there, you're gonna find a lot of mutual interest there, and
Yeah,
you know, you eventually find people. I think a main thing too is, I think when it comes to relationships, I think people are way too quick and willing to actually get into a relationship, or even they're so short-sighted to just like, I want to be in relationship with this person, I want them to be my boyfriend slash girlfriend. You know, I think people are way too short-sighted towards that, that they don't even think about becoming friends first. You know, they go straight to girlfriend, go straight to boyfriend. They didn't even become friends first.
Yeah, that kind of thing doesn't work out too well most of the time.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of, I think one of the biggest pet peeves I have when it comes to like the guys is just like, if you, pretty much just white knight. I absolutely hate it so much when there's a guy who's like, they want to they're interested in you, but they're also such a white knight to every single girl. It's like, no, you're not gonna get any girl like if you're white knighting for every single girl out there. I actually hate that so much. Guys like that who just like white knight for every single girl they talk to or every person they talk to. And I was actually wondering, what are your pet peeves when it comes to like someone who's someone you want, someone who's interested to you? Like, what are some pet peeves that you don't like in a partner?
In a partner?
Yeah. Or potential partner. What's something you wouldn't want?
I think for me, it's anybody who's unwilling to like work something out if a problem happens. I know that's a specific thing, but I think that would be a big thing with me, is just like, let's say you have a fight or an argument and they're just not willing to like either talk about it or like trying to fix it. If you know, if one person's willing to, the other person isn't, like that'd be a big thing that annoys me, because like of course problems are gonna happen, but you know, what are you gonna do after those problems? You know, at least you can try to fix it. It's a good thing. And then like if they don't want to, there's just like, it's whatever, you know, I'm over it, and you never even talked about it. Super big thing with me, you know.
What about Sky? Do you have any pet peeves in regards to people you're like potentially interested in? Like, what's something you wouldn't want in a partner? Guy! I think Sky died or something.
Yeah.
Oh, there she is.
Oh, well.
No, I just wasn't talking because I was trying to think, but
fair.
Oh, okay.
It's so hard to answer this question because I don't see myself in a relationship like ever.
Okay, fair. So, understandable. That's.
But I think one thing is for sure is I'd have low standards. I think I would have low standards. So, but yeah,
necessity should still be like, this guy just shouldn't be someone who's like nice to everybody, for example.
So what?
Or something like that. Like the bare necessity should be like this guy should just be like should only be interested in you. They can't be like show
Yeah,
interest
yeah,
in every
romantically, because like you said, nice to everyone. I'm just like, yeah, being nice to everyone's not a bad thing.
Being
But
an
yeah,
asshole to everyone.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah, they can't be romantically interested in anyone. Yeah, of course.
romantic. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Cause actually, because I really okay. So actually, a story like my first relationship I ever had was like, I'm pretty sure it's just like. So the reason I hate like that people who are just like white knight for everyone is because of the first relationship that ended badly for me, right? So what happened was like during my relationship with this guy, he was getting really flirty with this other girl, like in our class, right? And then I'd just be watching them, and I obviously don't want to show jealousy, right? And I don't want to restrain him, right? But I'd obviously be really jealous on the inside, and I'm just like, why are they so overly friendly with each other, right? It just like it irked me off a lot, and like to the point where I'd actually start having dreams about like him like breaking up with me to go with that girl and stuff, right? So I was having dreams like during our relationship about this shit, okay? And then what ended up happening was we actually did break up in the end, and he actually did start dating this girl, and I'm like,
okay.
Wow.
But obviously, they're not dating anymore, and both that girl and both that ex and that girl are still in my friend group. I've just learned to forgive them. Honestly, I really shouldn't. Like, honestly, I really shouldn't because that just is like infidelity. It was like, oh, I freaking hate that so much.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the reason why I really hate guys who are just super overly nice to every single girl they meet. Ugh.
Yeah, like I don't think I could ever do that. It's interesting.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
The point.
Again, as much as I said that I don't want to ever give up a friendship and things like that, I just couldn't.
Nah, yeah. I'm like, yeah. Do you guys have actually any have like bad relationship stories?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I know media's had plans.
Let's better say, if you consider your girlfriend ghosting you for 5 months, there you go. Gonna TLDR that one.
Yep. Like
amazing, isn't it? It was not amazing. The only reason I'm laughing now is so I can deal with the pain. Okay.
No worries. Like, look, dark humor is the best way for best coping mechanism, you know. What about Sky? Sky, have you ever had like a bad relationship? Do you have a bad relationship story?
No, I do not.
Okay. Understandable. Actually, Click brings up a good point. Like, wait, Loki, I flirt with everyone though.
Like here's the thing, like if that's just your personality and the things that you do, I don't think, like I personally wouldn't fault you too much for that. Like if you're just being really friendly, that it just seems like flirting, I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing.
I feel like it also depends. Cause I feel like some people would be okay with it. Some other people like me would not be okay with it. So it just varies from
it just comes down to like personality type, yeah.
Yeah. That too. And like, cause like the other thing is I feel like girls get a bit of a girls get let off a lot of things compared to guys, especially as well. I feel like if a guy were to do some like for example be very flirty compared to a girl being very flirty, it's just like two different things. I feel like to some extent, like people see this differently and give a girl more leniency than a guy would have. That's what I think.
Wait. Shuffle back. I don't think I quite fully understood.
So I feel like if a girl was super flirty, a girl being super flirty would be like more accepted than a guy being super flirty. That's what I think.
Okay. Interesting.
Just because I feel like it's just like unfortunate like bias when it comes to different genders. It just happens.
That's interesting because because I was thinking that like if a dude goes out with a lot of girls, he's seen as a player, which is like a mostly positive thing. But if a girl goes out with a lot of guys, she's seen as a hoe, which is like mostly a pardon my French, obviously, but it was mostly seen as a negative.
That's
just what I thought.
Yeah.
Or is it just like another kettle of fish? Is it just another? I guess the difference between flirting and actually going out with people is very different. I guess it's just different.
Yeah,
Actually,
true.
speaking of that, I did think about because I remember I think did we talk about this on the podcast or was this in a more private call? But anyway, this was a topic about how I think we were talking about whether we'd not necessarily show off, but like talk to some amount about our significant others if we did have a significant other, and then media,
Oh,
and then
yeah,
media,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, and
Hmm?
then so and then media said that it would be very like say for example, like if someone asks like, hey, like do you want to come out? Or, hey, do you want to go out with us for lunch? And then you wanted to invite your significant other. Like, do you call your significant other a friend, or do you call them like say these people don't know the other significant
Yeah,
other?
yeah. I think this was on cast.
Yeah, that was during a podcast. I think we asked this during podcast question.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I was on the side of you would say that that's your girlfriend or boyfriend, and if your friends didn't know, that's when you eventually would tell them. And my reasoning for that is that like I just wasn't me personally just wasn't fond of the idea of more or less hiding your relationship. I just was not a fan of that. Yeah. I do remember this though. I do remember this stuff.
Yeah. And I think I thought, and I guess I did some thinking as to why, like, Crow and I were, because I suspected that it might be a gender thing and like how we were raised that led to that rather than like a personal thing. So I'm thinking it might be because, like, as a guy, like if you have a girlfriend, then you're seen as like it's just one of those things that you're expected. Like you're expected to have a girlfriend or like a wife when you're like going into the future. Whereas for us, like we're expected to have boyfriends and husbands, but not in the sense that I guess like I guess like in society, like it is a win to not be single. But at the same time, like, what it usually means for girls is that I don't know how to word this lightly, but it's kind of like we belong to someone. We have someone who's like there to like be at our back, help our backs because we don't know how to help ourselves. I think it just stems from like older societal values where females had much less independence, and therefore if we had a guy, it was kind of like we're safe, if that like safe quote unquote. Whereas for guys, it's more like, oh, I don't want to say property, but I think it kind of but I kind of thought that you have someone.
Yeah.
You have someone essentially.
Yeah, because
So
I'm thinking it's different for me because my mom really just like because like if I had a boyfriend, I would be proud that I have a boyfriend, right? But the thing is just like I don't want to. The reason I wouldn't like if someone asked me, "Oh, do you want to invite anyone?" and I wouldn't say I'll invite my boyfriend. It's just because I don't want to seem like I'm flexing the fact that I have a boyfriend to my friends. Because once I bring up, "Oh, can I invite my boyfriend?" they're all gonna be like, "You have a boyfriend? Oh my god, how long have you guys been dating?" And they're gonna ask like so many questions, and I'm like, because like, I'm the type of person who gets really embarrassed when all their attention is on me. So I'd rather not have that advantage, that attention, and because of that, I would avoid saying boyfriend. Like I'm still proud of having a boyfriend. Like I'm still proud I'm dating this person, and I want to tell people, right? But then it's just because I feel very embarrassed about talking about it, and it's just like, cause I feel like
yeah, that's fair.
it feels like I'm flexing about the fact that.
but also like say in the perfect world where like 100% sure that they're not going to question you about it, like you tell them, right?
Yeah. I tell them like if they weren't gonna be like, "Oh my god, congratulations, that's amazing!" Like I'd be like, yeah, I'd just say, "Oh yeah, I have a boyfriend." So in other words, I think maybe when I get older, when dating is much more like normal in the norm, then yeah, I'd probably bring it up. But if not, then it's just like it feels a bit weird because like they're all gonna be like, "Oh my god, that's so cool! I wish I had a boyfriend." I'm like, stop.
Yeah, no. Yeah, for me, I don't know. For me, it's just like, yeah, I just would tell them, and it's like if they went like, oh, you have a girlfriend, things like that, and then it's just like, okay, now we're having this conversation, cool. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, let's just get over this. Like for me, it's just like, okay, we'll get over this hump of this conversation, then we'll continue on with our lives.
Nah, fair. I understand. Okay, that makes sense too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
I guess that's my main thing. It's just like I'm not too afraid of that kind of assault when people like find that out. Like I'm just like, all right, we'll get over this, and then we'll just continue on.
I'm just worried about like it's gonna come off. I'm gonna come off like I'm flexing on them or something like that for having a boyfriend or something like that.
Or at the same time, like let's say for example, if all of them were taken, Like, you probably would you be more comfortable?
Maybe.
Yeah, definitely. I'd be like, oh yeah, I got a boyfriend now. Yeah,
Yeah, like
And then they'll be like, wow, my god, wow, you finally got a boyfriend. We all of us got. Anyway,
yeah,
anyway.
I'd be fine with that. Yeah.
Cause okay, for like me, like I'm thinking about a group of guys, right? If I'm with like a group of guys, and then like one of the dudes are just like, oh, can I bring my girlfriend? Like that's gonna be like, yo, that's my boy right there. Let's go, okay? Tell me all about it. Like that's my boy. Like that's how I would react. Like I'd be like, heck yeah, dude. I don't know. Maybe it is a difference between guys and girls, cause like that's how I see that situation happening. But it's like, this is my freaking boy right here.
I think it also 100% depends on who you're saying it to. Like if you're talking
Oh
to
yeah,
like,
for sure.
your friendship circle, then yeah. But if you're talking to your Asian parents,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't. Yeah, I never even told my parents that I was dating. Like a lot, like dating. It's just like they just figured out eventually because I always invited this guy over to my house or something like that, for example.
Yeah, like that's a good angle too. I think I would still say that it's my I would still say if I was going to a place and it's like I want to bring my girlfriend, like I would definitely tell them, can I bring my girlfriend? And it's just like, if they want to just have that conversation, it's like, okay, time to have that conversation real quick. Like I don't mind it.
Oh, so you'd even address your girlfriend as your girlfriend with your parents, like for example, if you wanted to invite. Oh, okay. Shit. Okay. Can't relate.
Yeah, I mean.
can't relate either.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, definitely going back to what Sky was saying, I definitely think it is a thing where it's just like, if a guy is in a relationship with something, that's seen as like like it's just like good job, like you did it, like kind of thing like that. And when it's so weird, right? And then like almost it's almost as if like if it's just like, oh, if a girl's in a relationship with a guy, it's just like, oh, what type of guy is he? It's like, is it okay? Like, is the relationship okay? It's like you're almost kind of worried about it. You kind of get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it.
At least for the parent thing.
Yeah.
It's just like who? It's like who is this guy? Like what type of person is he? What's his career?
Who's that?
Yeah.
Can I meet him? Can I meet his parents? What is his home like? What are his parents like? My friend's educated. Do we both work? It just goes.
Yeah, but with guys just like, wow, good job, you did it.
Yeah.
In regards to my dad, if I were to tell my dad that I was in a relationship, he'd be the type of parent that wouldn't actually ask too much, because I feel like when it comes to my relationship with my dad, it's like we don't try to pry into each other's privacy that as much and stuff. But it's just like the one requirement, like my dad doesn't care if I'm like dating the guy as long as I'm happy while dating the guy, right? Or girl. Wait, can't be a girl because Asians are like, they're so
yeah, like that's the thing too. It's like,
be a girl.
Obviously it's dynamic, Every group, every family, everything is dynamic. So it's like one size will not fit all,
Yeah, so with my dad, it's just like, as long as this person is a guy and is like of Asian ethnicity, as in like Chinese or Korean or Japanese, he can't be South Asian because my dad hates South Asians apparently. So that's literally it. Like he'll be fine with it, and it's like as long as I'm happy with the guy, then it's okay. But then the issue is, I'm like, you think like he's being lenient, right? But in a way, he kind of narrows down my options, because I can only choose from like, they're either Chinese, Korean, or Japanese, and they have to be a boy. So they pretty much have to have like black hair, fair skin, yellow skin, or something like that, in order for him to.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, like, I don't think you can escape that with most families, especially with Asian cultures. I have just my own as well. It's just like, I know for a fact that like, if I my family definitely wants me to date an Indian girl. That's just something that they want. And I know that because there's been instances where other people in my family have like dated white girls, dated black girls, and eventually married them. And I've heard like the side conversations of people just like not accepting it, not thinking of it as well, and like, talking bad about them. And I don't know, it's definitely a culture thing. I'm definitely a person who is not in tune with my culture. So I'm definitely more aware of it, and I'm just like, I'm not a fan. I don't like it personally, because for me, I don't think for me, like, the emotional stuff matters more. So I don't think it matters like where they came from or things like that. So it's just like, and I think for me personally, I think my parents would be okay with me dating a non-Indian person, but I think my wider family would not be okay with it. If that makes sense.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Actually, that actually wanted
I'm
me to ask.
Blasian? No, I'm just Indian. I'm pure Indian.
Actually, that actually what I wanted to. That leads me wants to ask a question for both Media and Sky. How much of an influence do your parents have over your dating life?
I'd say close to none.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
What about Sky?
I can't really answer yes, no, because sorry, I have no interest. I'm no interest in dating. So it's kind of like so there's kind of like if I tell my so I guess it's kind of actually yeah, it kind of can be on there. So I guess no. So I guess like for me no influence as well.
I
If
agree
only in
with
the
what
sense
Bambi
that
said in chat.
like if only if only because I don't listen to them, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I don't listen to the recommendations. I just go like, because they're like, wow, you should, yeah, maybe get a significant other, get like a boyfriend because I don't know reasons, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like, I just don't listen to my parents. Like, if they try to control my relationship, you know.
Yeah, my parents have never. I don't know. For me, my parents have never tried or really cared. I guess in a good way, you know. They've never been like, you can only date so. We've never had that conversation.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, that's too. Okay.
Yeah.
I think my mom tries to act supportive for all kinds of partners, but then I know on the inside I'm like, yeah, you want me to date an Asian guy, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I could agree with that statement.
Yeah.
Okay. I have two more questions. Okay, so let me try to fit in two more questions. So this other question was actually a question that Sky asked, and I thought was very interesting. We could answer during the Valentine podcast. Was if you could date someone in Elsword, can be any playable character and or NPC, who would you date and why?
Oh man, you added NPC. It's tough for me, and it's not tough for me because there's so many options. It's tough for me because I can't think of anyone at the top of my head. Yeah.
For me, it's a hard question for me because, obviously I have a huge crush on Raven, right? But then I'd feel like if I were to date Raven, he'd be way too good for me, and I'd be too scared to go with him, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously I'd want to pick Raven, but I'd be too scared to pick Raven if that was the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think earlier we made the distinction between dating and going on a date.
Yeah, she's talking about dating. Like you want them to be your boyfriend, girlfriend. I believe, right? Am I wrong? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay, yeah. I think we established that earlier on.
Okay.
I think. Oh god, I just dug my own grave. Now I don't know how to answer. Now I don't know how to answer this question because I can't see people being romantically interested in me. Period. So but it's kind of
hypothetical situation. They are. You are.
Yeah, but I can't. That's the problem. My brain won't let me.
Wait, what?
Well, as in the situation just sounds so impossible that I just can't imagine it. So, at least in my head, how I would imagine it is if we were in a situation when they are forced to date me with no reason, with no feelings for me, who would I pick and why?
Okay.
So if I had to, and so therefore that I would think of who would be the most okay with being forced to date me.
Oh my gosh.
With no feelings, and then I just think. And then therefore, then I just have to think who would I get along most, and B, who would be the most okay with being forced to date.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm like, I don't know.
I mean, you can pick a girl. I'm just saying, Media can pick a guy.
I won't.
Yeah, I know.
But thank you for giving me the option, I guess.
Yeah, but I guess on that side, it means that if I'm considering that my partner is being forced to date with no feelings for me, then I guess I want that option because then I can choose someone that I could be friends with. Because we could just you could just go to dinner and have a good time and that's it, and just talk about not romantic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
God.
Okay.
I don't know.
I have some choices.
Okay.
Okay, maybe you'll go first.
Yeah, I can't really pick one, to be honest with you. Okay. But because there's just kind of reasons just why I can't really pick one. Just because there's not really one I'm just like, heck yeah, this character. I'm not really like that with Elsword. There's nobody really like that like, okay, whatever. Anyway, moving on. So if Daybreaker wasn't an elf, definitely Daybreaker, but she is an elf, so I have to take that in consideration. But that's definitely a choice. And then maybe this is a weird one. I don't know. I definitely say Ariel. I think Ariel has a great personality. I think she'd be great to talk to. Yeah, Ariel's cool. And then the one priestess, the Earth priestess, Artrea.
Who?
Okay.
Artrea.
Oh.
Yeah, she
Oh
seems
damn,
very.
she got them weapons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she seems really smart, and I think she'd be really just very interesting to talk to, and things like that. Just want to know more about her. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I guess it's like yeah. For me, I think I'd pick Raven. I'd just pick Raven, but at the same time, just like I want to ship Raven with Rena. I'd rather Raven go with Rena, you know, instead of me. But at the same time, I don't think there's no one else I can pick other than Raven. Honestly, in my case, because I just love Raven so much. But I guess it's like,
I'll go on.
nah. I was just gonna say like random side note: the age gap between Raven and I, 8-year age gap.
It's okay. I mean, it's fiction. You'll eventually reach his age point. Like.
Fair enough. Yes, Sky. Did you want to say something?
I think bringing up Ariel as a workaholic is a really good point, and for me, it actually makes it, well, at least makes my specific situation makes it a lot better. Because then I go, hey, we're going to date, and then she can go, oh, I'm sorry, I must have work to do. And so it's okay, like, we can literally just sit there in silence. I'll do my own thing, you do your own thing, and then, like, because we're being forced into this anyway, so, like, might as well take advantage of this and just use each other as companionship, right? So...
Okay,
yeah, Ariel.
Yeah, that's cool.
Ariel in the sense that she'd be okay with doing her own thing while I do my own thing.
Actually, that's leads to. I want to ask another question. If you guys had to pick the same gender to date, who would you pick?
It's same gender. Well, I already picked Ariel, so.
Yeah, okay, fair. Meteor.
No one.
No.
I wouldn't marry a dude.
Oh no, you don't have to marry him. You just gotta date him.
I wouldn't date a dude.
Yeah, what if you just go on a date, like a lunch date or something, and that's it? You break up afterwards. Which else's character would you pick?
No, you're trying to trap me. I'm not a fool. I wouldn't date a dude.
I think I'd pick Ara, even though Rena's my favorite wifey.
Ara, really? No, I'm kidding.
Ara's cute. She's
Sure.
cute. I like. She's a good girl.
Meteor give in. See, Ella knows. Trying to trap me. Ella, help me.
Yeah,
They don't even
Meteor's
care
never
about the
gonna
answer. They just want to trap me. I'm kidding.
I guess if I had to actually interact with said person, then probably Rana. Actually,
Rana.
like if you're just sitting there doing your own thing doesn't count, and I actually had to talk. Then I guess Rena, like I feel like she'd be understanding if we were forced. And
Then
yeah.
I pick Ara because I feel like it'd be a very fun date if I went out with Ara. You know, she just seems like, because she's so clumsy, it'd be pretty funny. I think that's why I like her.
Oh, Ella's right though. Rose is pretty top tier. I forgot. I legitimately forgot about Rose for a little bit there. But like, real quick, PO is a very solid 4th place. Like superest of solidest 4th place for me.
just because of her ala vibes.
No, not even that. She just seems very intelligent. She looks very nice. I think we can talk about a lot of stuff. I don't know. She just seems very energetic as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Super,
her whole advancement is about her like discovering how to control her massive mech army, and then she's there like randomly like, "Wow, I found this amazing thing!" And Zero's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Yeah. So.
Alessis is pretty up there too. I'll put Empire Sword in like a solid 5th place as well. Throw Alessis in there.
if you dated Ella sister, wouldn't the atmosphere be very kind of tense? Like, she'd be so like regal. It'd be like kind of hard.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say hard to talk to, but it'd be like very intense. Like, it'd feel like you're at a job interview or something. I feel like if you dated
Nah.
Ella sister.
I don't know, that'd be
really?
kind of cool. Yeah, no, that'd be kind of cool. I'm
That's
down.
what I
Like
would
I
think.
say, I'm down with strong women. I'm down.
Okay, I
Yeah.
respect. Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
I feel like if I dated Ella sister, I'd be, oh my god, am I at a job interview?
Nah, I can dig it. It's all good.
Yeah, Flame Lord Ellis would probably be easy to talk to. Yeah, but Empire Sword Ellis is probably gonna feel like I'm at a job interview. I'm gonna be like, so great weather today, and like very awkward conversations with her or something. Yeah. Okay. All right. Are we good with that question?
I think so.
Okay. Then the very last question, the very stupid question, it's the best till last. You guys are gonna absolutely hate this question. So if you hate the question, media, you have to write the end stream right there and not answer. Anyway, so the super stupid last question I want to ask is, if you had to pick someone on the 2.5 podcast today,
Not answering this question.
No, right,
I'm not. I'm
right.
myself.
Me myself.
Me. I date myself.
That's the only time media would come close to dating a same gender guy.
I'll be single as a Pringle.
Alright, you know what?
I'd rather say what I do.
Look, I'm sorry.
Dang,
Kat,
Ella!
I'm
Jeez, that's crazy. I'm offended. I don't care. Whatever.
Ella says
I'm joking,
that, but
I'm
she
joking.
like subscribed to you at the beginning of the stream today.
That's crazy, Ella. No, I'm just kidding.
Self-love is important. That's true. Self-love is important.
That is important.
Alright, I'm sorry, chat. I tried my best. You guys couldn't get an answer out of us. Thanks, Ella. I appreciate you.
What?
Is Sky
Okay,
Is
okay.
Sky...
No, I just want to say real quick. Okay, no, yeah, Ella, no, I respect that. I respect that. You're gay AF. I respect it. You know? Yeah, at least you're not asking me what Elsword guy I would date when I'm definitely straight. No, I respect it. I respect it. Respect.
If Sky started streaming, Ella would be the first sub. I'm calling it.
I mean, I already do. I just stream once every couple of months.
Oh, okay, fair. Yeah, almost. At this point, it's almost like once a year.
Yeah. Because I had to stream where because like the thing is the biggest restrictor is the weather. If it's too hot, I can't stream because my computer
Baby, aren't
can't
you a
handle
dude?
it.
That means Sky is super active during winter Australia times. Okay.
Actually, not even that. And then there's also times that I'm like, oh, am I bothered? Nah, and I just don't. So yes, very inconsistent. Also very rare.
Also, chat's being thirsty for
Yeah.
media right now.
Okay, calm down. Let's say that Raven Discord is still called Cult of Mitos. I don't need more people.
Yeah.
Wait.
All right.
Wait, did Click have a last question? I don't mind asking one more question.
Look, you can answer. You can ask a question as well. But a question from Bambi, real quick. Would you date Bambi?
No.
Wow, rejected.
Straight up. Ah, that's harsh. Ah,
No, it's not. Okay, that's crazy. That's crazy.
I mean, you hurt the poor Bambi.
He'll be fine.
Yeah.
He'll get over it.
Wow.
But yeah, Click. Feel free to ask the question. You can.
Yeah, we can make that the last question.
Yeah, we'll make yours the last question.
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh wait. Oh, this is asking me. Okay, she's gonna. No, if she wasn't gonna ask the question immediately, I was gonna bring something up real quick.
Okay. Wait, I mean, I'm down to hang out, Ella, when you do come to Sydney. Though it sounds fun. We can bring Ken along. Ken away Tracer. This question. I think I've asked this question before. The question that Click asked.
What is it?
What do you think of polyamorous relationships?
Remind me what that means.
So polygamy, so like three-way, like for love triangle, like
You're dating multiple people.
Oh,
Dating
so
multiple people at the same time.
dating multiple people, like open relationship type stuff.
Open relationship, yeah.
Not a fan, me personally.
Okay.
Not a
I think
fan,
it
and if
depends.
yeah,
Sorry, go on.
just like for me, like I could never do it. I wouldn't want to do it ever at all. I think just for me, a relationship is commitment between two people. I think once you add a third person in for however many, you lose that commitment.
True.
And you lose that I in my opinion, for me, just because I don't want to offend people,
Mm.
I think you lose the essence of what a committed relationship is.
Mhm. What about you, Scar? What do you think?
I think me personally, I don't think I'd be in one. Or at least for me, because I feel like it'd be even more impossible to have multiple people who like me. Like having one person like me, like shit. Like that's just impossible. Having multiple for me is like so astronomically mind blowing that, or so astronomically impossible that I just don't perceive it.
Mm.
But as for other people, as long as you set very clear, like, would you even have boundaries for this kind of relationship?
I
think you
I think
would.
I think it's near impossible.
I think it.
Obviously, you're gonna have to discuss it with
Mm-hmm.
every party in this relationship.
Yeah,
Okay.
100%. You just need, I think I think for this kind of thing, like communication is absolutely the key.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
you have to be able to just say what's on your mind, and then if things are not working out, then like, you can just drop it.
Yeah, again,
Well,
like
I think like you have to. Like, I think both parties have to understand both the benefits and the detriments of it before like coming to a mutual agreement. Like, yeah, we're gonna do this thing, and I guess like as long as both parties are okay with it,
mm-hmm.
I guess there's no harm in that.
Yeah, like what is it?
As long as everyone involved is okay with it, then I guess there's no harm.
It's like going back to there's literally that many people on Earth. I think there's enough people on Earth that like some people would be into it and then it'd be okay and it'd be a stable relationship. But I definitely think it does not work in a lot of instances.
For me, I'd actually be pretty down to try a polyamorous relationship, I'll be honest. Just as long as, like, all the party members of the relationship would be fine with me having a divided attention between, like, multiple people I'm dating, right? Because, like, the thing with me is just, because I don't like being limited to dating one person, I'll be honest, because I feel like then I can only give that one person like attention and like my love, my affections and stuff, right? So sometimes I feel like if there's multiple people who like me, I wouldn't mind like dividing my attention and just like wanting to give, even if I don't like everyone,
Share the love.
Yeah, because like even if I don't like them, I still don't mind giving them my attention and affection, and it's just like because like. Basically, the issue I have is like I struggle to say no to people if they like me and like genuinely like me and ask me out. It's like I actually feel bad for rejecting people. It's just like, sorry, I'm already dating someone. Like if I say that, I feel really bad. And like in an ideal world, I'd want to date everyone.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, I definitely feel bad too, but I'd feel worse if like it just again, this is just for a me thing. I think I personally would feel worse if I was dating multiple people and then like I had to spread my attention because I want to give like me personally I just want to give my attention to that one person and they give their attention at least the loving part, the relationship part. Like I think you can be affectionate with a lot of people. I think you can be very nice to a lot of people and care for them, but I do think there is a difference in the affection that you have for the one person that you would want to be with the rest of your life essentially.
Yeah, makes sense.
Again to reiterate, as I've done multiple times, most of this stuff is a me thing.
Okay, yeah, fair, understandable. Everyone like has their different opinions.
Mm-hmm.
Just that, like for me, I definitely I wouldn't say recently, but beginning of last, so like a year ago, I was actually in that situation where I had to choose between two people, right? And I was just like, can I just go with a poly? But obviously, the two people involved would not have wanted that, so yeah, I could not. Yeah.
Yeah, like, what is it? Like, if for instance, if I was with a girl, then like she wanted to date another girl or another guy at the same time she was dating me, I'd be like, then let's break up. If like it might sound very harsh, but to me it's just like, if you have interest enough in that other person that you want to date them at the same time as you want to date me, I at least see it as just like, okay, then we're not that committed or we're not that committed or in love with each other that we can have a stable relationship, that it's going to become unstable. Like I just see it as an unstable relationship.
Yeah, makes sense. Quick says the person I was rejected by was into another person, and the thing is that I was into them too.
That's fine.
So in that case,
That's pretty
so
funny.
in that case, Click would have been fine with the person dating another person, like both of you guys at the same time. Actually, yeah, if that was a situation for me, I feel like if I really liked someone and they were into another girl, I would actually not mind if they but if it was a poly like that situation as well, where I like this one person but this person has two people liking her, I actually would not mind that poly as well, because I like that person so much that I'm willing to have them have their attention be divided when it comes to for me, you know.
Nah,
But it's like,
I just see it again. This might sound rude again. It's just me thing, but I just see it as a lack of trust and commitment.
yeah, fair enough.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. Oleos, that's also a big mood. It happened to me before. I talked about it early in the podcast as well.
Yeah. If you're in a relationship with someone, like you are dating boyfriend and girlfriend, and that your partner starts flirting, like that is abrupt.
That's unacceptable. Yeah, that one's unacceptable. If it was like before dating and we just established like the stuff.
Yeah, if
before,
you're just like if you're flirting with like a couple of people and you're not dating any of them, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Real quick, Media, did you say you had one more question you wanted to ask before we end the stream?
Now I don't want to I don't want to end it off kind of like, I don't know. Let me gauge the room. Do you guys mind if just kind of end it with me being like, don't do this kind of thing?
Okay, so.
I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Let me feel the room.
Because I'm gonna after your question, I think I'm gonna end it off with a question from Twitch for Twitch chat and YouTube chat.
Okay. So yeah, let me say this. I think two very big things are like, man, now I can't even remember them. Oh man, that's crazy. Oh, dang it. I guess if I remember, but in a different podcast, I'll bring it up.
Sure, no problem. Okay, yeah. So the question I wanted to end off with for Twitch chat and YouTube people.
Oh yeah, no, wait, I remember at least one of them. I'll say at least one of them. Yeah. What is it? Oh yeah, I remember both now. Sweet. Okay. Don't pity date, or if you know you're being pity dated, get out of there, because it doesn't. I don't think it ends up very well. I've never personally felt it, but I have friends who've told me about it, and it's not good for both parties. Second thing is, don't. We talked about chasing earlier. Give up if it's hopeless. If it seems hopeless, if you tried enough, don't keep trying, because every time you keep trying, that's effort. That is time. And if you're putting in a lot and you're not receiving anything, you gotta stop, because you're just gonna keep putting in too much effort, and it's just gonna keep coming in. Like, you're not gonna get. And maybe it's bad to say like you won't get any results. It's like, oh, is this a value thing? No, it's just like it takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of emotional effort from you, and you're gonna break yourself down if you're gonna keep trying and trying for this person, and they're not not even budging.
Yeah.
Like, think about yourself, honestly. That's just kind of the main thing there.
Pretty much have some self-respect.
Yeah, again, I've just had friends where it's just like they kept gunning for someone, and they kept trying and trying, and it's just like when they were finally eventually done with trying, they were just like, I wish I never did that, they're just like, oh man, this person ruined me. Like, I can't, like, I wish I could tell this person I absolutely hate them, they ruined my life. Like, yeah. And okay, let me add the third thing as well. If you are at some point in your relationship where you feel like you're not getting the love that you were when the relationship was at its peak, it honestly might be time to leave. Cause
either that, or you gotta talk about it with your partner.
Yeah. You know what it is? That's what it is. You know what that is? Yeah, you're exactly right. If you're having that problem and you can't talk to them about it, or you talk with them about it and they like dismiss it, anything like that. If you are having problems with a relationship and you try to talk with them and communicate about it, and the issue does not get solved, that's when you got to think about leaving. That's a very good point. Thank you for bringing that up.
No, it's okay. I think like a lot of actually huge advice for people who are in a relationship, or people who plan on being in a relationship soon. communicate with your partner. Communication matters so much.
Mhm.
You don't want to end a relationship because of a misunderstanding or something like
Mhm.
that. If you feel like you're unhappy in your relationship, talk about it with your partner. Yeah, you gotta talk. Like it might be you might feel awkward talking, but if you want the
Oh, yeah.
relationship to stay, you gotta talk. You gotta talk.
And it's gonna be hard too, for sure.
Yeah.
You gotta get over that. Yeah, and if anything, if they do anything to try and stop that communication, or they don't take what you're saying, like they don't value what you're saying at all, that's when you gotta be like, got time to go.
That's when you hustle out and get out of there.
It's time to go.
Yeah, exactly. If there's no progress, move on. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I think that's about it for today's podcast. Do you guys have anything? Sky Media, do you guys have anything else you want to add before I make the closing statements?
Oh yeah, there's definitely one thing I want to add. Like, guys, listen, being in a relationship isn't gonna guarantee happiness. You know, there is nothing wrong with just hanging out with a bunch of people and just like having a bunch of friends. Like, I think so many people again just get short-sighted to like, I need a girlfriend, I need a boyfriend, just because society makes it seem like such an important thing. Like, honestly, guys, I think it's more important to just like have a lot of friends. And I think you're gonna eventually find that person that you're gonna have a great time in a relationship with.
Yeah, so people don't rush about being in a relationship. Take it at your own pace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Much. And I think making friends in general is more important.
Okay. I think that's about it then.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
The question I wanted to leave for YouTube, Twitch chat and YouTube chat for people who are watching at home. Comment down in the question. Comment your answer down in the answer the question in the comments down below.
Wait, what? Oh, you're leaving them with a question.
Yeah.
So okay, cool. Yeah.
Because I was curious on what Click asked. I wanted to ask like.
Oh man, we should do this. Yeah, we should end every podcast with this. I like this.
Yeah. Okay. So
question of the day. I like that. Or of the week.
Question of the day is.
Question of the week.
Actually the one. Yeah. Question of the week. It's actually the one Click asked is, what do you guys think of a polyamorous relationship? And you can answer that in the comment section below.
Cool.
Yes, I had a stroke saying that.
It's all good.
But yeah, with that out of the way, I think that's it from us for today's episode 21 of the podcast. Yeah, hope everyone had a good Valentine's Day. I hope not many people were just crying and stuffing themselves with ice cream this holiday.
Hang out with friends. Chill with your friends.
Yeah.
If they're in a relationship, watch some anime or something. Play video games.
Yeah, exactly.
It's okay.
Exactly. Do something for yourself. Be self-sufficient. Yeah.
It's okay.
Alright. That's it from us. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh man, I never changed the topic. Oops. That was so gross in the conversation. I never changed the current topic. Love that.
It's fine. We'll just clip it in when you upload it on YouTube.